John A. Roebling Suspension Bridge, one of the region's most recognizable icons. It's hard to imagine the Cincinnati and northern Kentucky landscape without this engineering marvel. But in the early 1800s, the area's residents relied solely on ferries to cross the Ohio River. Eventually, demand for a bridge grew, and in 1846, Covington and Cincinnati Bridge Company was awarded a charter by the Kentucky General Assembly. On the other hand, Cincinnati leaders, afraid they would lose their grip on trade, were not in favor of the bridge, but eventually relented with one caveat, that it not align with any existing thoroughfares. John A. Roebling, one of the earliest pioneers of bridge construction in the United States, was chosen as the engineer of the project. While there were multiple design iterations, including a single tower in the center of the river, final plans were refined and approved, and the construction began in September 1856, beginning with the support towers. These towers were built upon a base of 13 layers of timber and placed on the gravel riverbed. As the towers took shape, the country became engulfed in financial panic, and soon thereafter, the Civil War. This made labor and materials scarce, and construction ceased. As the war crept closer to Cincinnati and the Confederate Army approached from the south, a pontoon bridge was constructed next to Roebling's towers, allowing Union troops and supplies to cross the river and fortify the city. That mobilization ultimately defended the region and demonstrated the importance of a permanent bridge. With interest in the bridge renewed, construction resumed, and Roebling's son, Washington, arrived to oversee the project with his father. The bridge would consist of two towers, each weighing 32,000 tons, and would support two main suspension cables, wrought iron trusses running the length of the bridge, and flooring composed of 600,000 square feet of oak and white pine. The bridge officially opened on January 1, 1867, costing roughly $2 million. It would operate as a toll bridge and quickly became a valuable asset for the region. Unfortunately, the heavy usage, increased load of streetcars, and effects of weathering quickly degraded the bridge. Within a few decades, there was a call to demolish the structure, and engineers were engaged to solve the issues. Only one, Wilhelm Hildebrand, sought to save the bridge. Luckily, Hildebrand's plan was accepted, and the bridge was not destroyed. In 1895, the bridge was outfitted with necessary improvements, including a second set of suspension cables and stronger trusses. While the upgrades did change the bridge's aesthetics, most notably replacing the tower ornaments with domes, they allowed the bridge to accommodate the increasing traffic demands for decades to come. This masterful design and construction also allowed the bridge to withstand powerful forces of nature, including the historic 1937 flood, when the bridge was the only river crossing for more than 800 miles. The following decades saw many changes for the bridge. The wooden deck was replaced by metal grating. The Cincinnati approach was entwined into the Riverfront Stadium project, and flags were added to the towers. Soon thereafter, lights were installed. Replicas of the original ornaments replaced the domes atop the towers. And as the bank's development was underway on the Cincinnati riverfront, the bridge was painted its current Roebling blue color. Today, the majestic bridge watches over the Ohio River, welcoming visitors to Smale Park and the wonderful surrounding amenities, and serving as a proud reminder of times before the banks.
For more information about the John A. Roebling Bridge, visit roeblingbridge.org. To discover more about the banks, visit thebankspublicpartnership.com.